Hey there! Welcome to Jackie Talks Horror. I'm Jackie, and today I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free review of a body horror and psychological horror film from July this year, Together. I managed to go into this blind without seeing any trailers except for some short snippets. Just a quick heads up that I'll be using images and trailers from the film in this video, and there'll be links to any trailers and articles I use in the description down below. I will also be reviewing the movie on its own merits. I know there's been some copyright controversy, but that won't be influencing any of my opinions. Okay, so let's have a look at the characters. There are only really 3 main characters in the film, and a couple of characters that pop in and out. First, the couple at the centre. Tim, played by Franco, portrayed with the sensitivity and charm that grounds the film. Tim is a wannabe rock star. Next up is Millie, played by Alison Brie, a seemingly sweet and smart teacher, disillusioned with teaching in the big city and children that don't want to learn. She definitely loves Tim, but is losing patience with his insecurities. They are 2 really relatable and realistic characters who really do love each other and want what's best for each other, and both seem to be really nice people, both to each other and to others, and both think the move will be good for them. The only other character, really, is Jamie, played by Damon Herriman. He's a teacher at the school Millie moved to, and the couple's neighbour. Franco's performance really anchored the movie, and Alison Brie was captivating as a frustrated but devoted wife who was trying to work out what was wrong, perfectly complementing him. Herriman makes an impression as the cheerful Tim and has plenty of chemistry with Brie, which adds depth without overshadowing the central couple. You believe in their connection, which makes their unravelling all the more unsettling. As their bodies and their trust begins to break down, the film shifts from domestic drama into something far more nightmarish. Okay, so let's see how the film handles its plot and pacing. Together's runtime is 102 minutes, and it has a very straightforward but unique story. The IMDb plot synopsis sums it up nicely. Years into their relationship, Tim and Millie find themselves at a crossroads as they move to the country. With tensions already flaring, an encounter with an unnatural force threatens to corrupt their lives, their love, and their flesh. The film wastes no time in establishing its tone, and you immediately know what kind of film you're watching. It starts off showing you our 2 characters and their relationship, and around the 40-minute mark, the story really gets going and starts building tension and unease. Whenever the tension peaks, the film breaks it with either humour or romantic moments. It's a clever way of giving viewers a brief reprieve when the visuals are going hard, but it can pull you out of the moment. Overall, the pacing keeps the story engaging without feeling complicated, balancing domestic drama with creeping dread and body horror. Okay, so let's have a look at some direction and production notes. Together is directed and written by Michael Shanks, marking his full-length directorial debut after a series of short films. Shanks intentionally keeps some of the elements ambiguous, allowing the audience to interpret the horror without overcomplicating the story or making it feel heavy-handed. The score was composed by Australian composer Cornel Wilczek, known for Bring It Back. Rather than relying on jump scares, the music builds a creeping sense of dread, subtly enhancing the tension throughout the film. The film premiered at the Sundance Festival 2025 as a midnight selection, generating early buzz for its visceral blend of love and body horror that relies heavily on practical effects. Prosthetics designer Larry Van Duynhoven, who also worked on The Invisible Man and Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, brought the transformations to life, creating believable and unsettling effects without exaggeration for shock value, and feels more effective than most CGI-heavy horror these days. Remarkably, Together was filmed in just 21 days, due in part to the tight schedule of leads Alison Brie and Franco. This compressed shooting timeline presented logistical challenges, especially with the physically demanding prosthetics work. This rapid production pace contributes to the film's raw and intense atmosphere, perfectly complementing its themes of discomfort and transformation. Okay, so now for my ratings. For cinematography and soundtrack, this film gets 3.5 out of 5. The film is beautifully shot with some really beautiful scenery and interesting and creative camera work. The score deliberately leans into making you feel uncomfortable, starting gentle and romantic, then twisting and distorting as the story escalates. I know the discomfort was intentional, but for me, it pulled me out of the movie rather than heightening the tension, so it gets a lowish score here. For visual effects and gore, the film gets 4.5 out of 5. Some really great practical effects, with a few digital touches near the end that never seem overused. There is enough gore to keep fans happy, but is carefully placed and feels purposeful, never gratuitous or there for shock value. For characters, it gets 4 out of 5. There is excellent chemistry between the leads, but as they are married in real life and good actors in their own rights, you would expect that. The few supporting characters that had more than one scene were also well acted. However, nobody seemed really fleshed out, and they also teased some character backstory that never went anywhere. For enjoyment and rewatch value, this film gets 4 out of 5. Like a few previous films lately, even though you can pretty much tell where something is going, it won't stop you enjoying it or rewatching it. And, although there are parts of the story that should have been more explored or fleshed out, it isn't all about the plot twists, but the journey that keeps you watching. For personal score, this is a 4 out of 5-star film. I didn't guess the full reveal, but I kinda had an idea of a couple of aspects. Can't say which because of spoilers. However, I don't think it spoiled the experience though. The journey was different and interesting enough, and the ending really took me by surprise, so there are some twists to keep it fresh and interesting. Okay, so that's all for this video. If you like the body horror transformation of the substance, the emotional gut punch of Marriage Story, and the biting humour of the menu, together blends all of that into something genuinely fresh. It's horror, yes, but the real fear comes from how real this relationship feels. And I also think it's a good entry movie into body horror. The humour takes a lot of the sting out of the visuals. Have you seen Together? What did you think of it? Thanks so much for watching. Do leave your comments down below, but remember to be respectful. And remember, this is only my opinion of the film. It'd be a boring little world if we all like the same things. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe and click that bell so you don't miss what's coming next on this channel. This is Jackie signing off. Take care and see you next time.